Analysts say Nigeria's economy would need to grow at double-digit rates for years to provide jobs. Osaritin Andonri, an assistant representative of the United Nations Population Fund in Nigeria, says the unemployed are an easy prey for Boko Haram, which has been recruiting disgruntled youth for its insurgency to set up an Islamic State in the north.
We have a pool of young persons that are probably not very educated, and those who are educated do not have jobs to do, and so they become a ready army for the kind of insurgencies and the disturbances we are seeing in parts of the country.
The population growth's repercussions go beyond Nigeria, as many poor head for Europe by traveling overland to Libya, from where smugglers ship them to Italy. The European Union saw the number of Nigerian asylum seekers tripling within the last 2 years. Population growth is a buzzword in research notes of global banks, describing Nigeria's potential as a huge market for anything from fizzy drinks, TV sets to cars. The economic crisis is now also luring job seekers fleeing northern and central Nigeria, where state governments have been unable to pay salaries. Further pressure from Boko Haram is driving people to the south, despite some successes by the army in retaking land. Many displaced people head to Lagos to find work after having stayed for years in camps. While complaining about suffering, many here still want to have a big family.
If God really blesses me and He gives me a good wife, I want to have about 6 children. Why? Yeah, because I'm capable of taking good care of them. And like my parents, we were 12, so you don't expect me to go for 2 children, like 6, 7.
There will be challenges for planning, and this has been compounded by the dislocation in the northeast and the quite challenging economic situation around the states, other states. Because of the unfavorable economic situations, we see more people coming into Lagos, and that has put a lot of strain on our resources. So we have to really provide more resources, more funds to be able to renew some of our facilities, to be able to provide additional infrastructures. And it's been quite challenging. We can do with more fund and more revenue.
In Nigeria, urban growth is informed by natural population increases in the urban areas, rural-urban migration, creation of administrative towns, and population concentration in towns blessed with natural resources. The high concentration of people beyond the facilities necessary to sustain the growth creates unhealthy competition for the available facilities and opportunities. It is therefore suggested that industries which forge linkages with rural occupation should be promoted to mitigate a high rural-urban migration. That there is a great shortage of adequate housing facilities in Nigerian towns is very well known, and in many cases, the inadequacies finds expression in a very high house occupancy ratio. Lagos, the commercial nerve center in the country, for instance, is particularly hit.
Ministry of Physical Planning has a lot to do in this aspect. We have to redesign Lagos as it is, so that rural areas can be able to accommodate people. I think that should focus on redesigning. So once we are able to open up the rural areas and make sure that infrastructure facilities are there, then people will be able to live in the rural areas rather than migrate to the urban areas, in which population is exploding already, and housing is becoming a challenge. So if we open up the rural areas, that would be a good design to address the housing problems as it is. The infrastructures, we have to include electricity, water, even income. We have to encourage that whoever is working in the rural get adequate income. And then transportation, most especially, so that people in the rural areas can be able to move and come back to their abode. So once we do that, it will address it.
At the bottom of the housing fiasco in Lagos lies the problem of land accessibility, stunted financial and mortgage system, exorbitant prices of building materials, and disproportionate capacity building in the sector.
The population of Lagos as at when it was 1 million, and population of Lagos as at when it is 23 million, and the same land mass, then definitely things have to change. It will not be the same. Not the same transportation system. When we talk of Lagos in the past, you wouldn't experience the kind of traffic snarl that we have now. Yes, a lot of people are living in Lagos. A lot of people have cars now. So there are cars on the road. And then we have environmental problems, emissions and all those stuff. Those also have to come with urbanization. You can't run away from it. Any urban country or town or city will have those problems. So it's just when you have those problems that you have to start planning. We are planning because we have that problem now. But we could have planned in the past for this problem. But be it as it may, that we did not plan in the past. But right now that it has happened, the new governments or the government that has been coming since 1999 have been planning towards this, that we must ameliorate these problems.
The economy of Nigeria today, more than any other thing, needs the bottom to be vibrant. Nothing gives you a more vibrant bottom. When you say bottom, we're talking of the lower segment, the D segment of the economy. Nothing gives you a wider spread than housing. When you construct roads, the bitumen, the caterpillars, the engineers, they are on top. In a road construction, less than 15% of the budget goes to the D segment of the population, the poor, okay? But in housing construction, it's the reverse. 80% goes to the poor, okay? Because the poor starts by clearing the land. He's the one to mold the blocks. He's the one to do the mason. He's the one to do the carpentry, the electrician, the plumber, the iron mongers. All these people, even the carriers, even the bankers, even the suppliers of the wood, suppliers of the cement, all these people are all the people that are at the bottom segment of the population. So if I invested 2 billion to build an estate, out of the 2 billion, a minimum of 1.8 billion is going into the hands of the little people. Imagine what effect that has on the economy.